Hey there, welcome to Toronto, the capital of the province of Ontario, on Lake Ontario, and the largest city in Canada. So it appears that I am in or near the Chinatown area, which I was not actually trying to get to. I just took one of these trams here from my hotel where I'm staying, which is quite a ways down that way, and I'm going to something specific which I'm going to walk over to right now. But I was just noticing all the Chinese, there's like a Chinese arch over there, and so that looks interesting as well. Maybe we'll see a bit more of it as I wander that way, although going to go this way first. I'm not sure if Chinatown goes more up that way or what, but a very, very interesting part of the city here. And so I was thinking about what to talk about as I walk along and get to where I'm going soon. And then I saw this poster. I showed the same poster in the video that I filmed yesterday, Riverfest. Bissell Park, Violent Femmes, Fleet Foxes, Josh Ross. I don't know who that is. I am vaguely familiar with the Fleet Foxes. I am extremely familiar with the Violent Femmes. So I thought I would talk about a little something different this time, which is music, and specifically the music that I have been into throughout my life. So I wanted to walk down here because I saw these murals from the tram, and this is also a big hint of where I am walking to. After this, I will get back over to that main street. Graph Team Racing. We should be seeing much better art soon. CN Tower up there. I showed that area in my last video. Here, getting into the back streets of Toronto. So, music, Violent Femmes. Who are the Violent Femmes? The Violent Femmes are an alternative 80s band who I guess are still going, obviously. According to that poster, I had no idea. I haven't listened to them in a long time. However, I listened to them a lot when I was a teenager, growing up and going to high school in the 1980s. They are a kind of eclectic mix of acoustic with rock. They tell some very strange stories, and they're really good stuff. Love them. So, thought that I would start by telling the music that I got into when I was a youngster, and especially in high school. So, the first albums that I bought, I don't remember what grade I was in, but I think fifth or sixth. So, 11 or 12 years old or so, I bought two albums from the local music store in Willits, Northern California, where I grew up. They were Def Leppard and Quiet Riot. I don't remember the specific albums. Probably the Quiet Riot one was Metal Health. I'm sure that it was that one. The album of theirs that really blew them up with Come On Feel the Noise. And incidentally, I actually saw them live in concert, but after they were a big act in Juneau, Alaska, of all places, where I was going to university. That would have been in 1991 or 1992. It was a really small venue, like maybe just a couple hundred people or something, but a fun show. Anyway, so my musical journey began with more typical stuff. Madonna and Men at Work. I got more Def Leppard and Quiet Riot albums. Cyndi Lauper, Billy Idol, the pop stuff of the 80s, but very quickly I got into more alternative stuff, probably influenced in particular by my friend Abram and the crowd that I was hanging out with, which, incidentally, I went to high school with Trey Cool of Green Day, the punk pop band, big in the 90s and still going. So Trey was in the group of friends that I hung out with. So hung out with him here and there randomly. I wasn't like good friends with him, but he was part of the crew there. I'm actually not a big Green Day fan at all. Like, I can listen to them, but not that into them. But anyways, some of the other bands that I got into in high school: Talking Heads, Agent Orange, Wall of Voodoo, The Cure, Echo and the Bunnymen, classic new wave stuff. Okay, time to double check the phone, make sure I'm going the right way here. By the way, got a brand new phone here. Just the day before catching my flight here to Toronto, it was time. My old phone was from 2018. Oh, okay. We are there. Good thing I checked. So, I guess it is not actually this street, but one over. All right, lucky walk signal happening. Okay, let's see how this goes, because I'm really looking forward to seeing it. So later in high school I got into punk more. I was like a skate kid. So Circle Jerks, the Dead Milkmen, Dead Kennedys, The Clash, all kinds of the kind of more experimental type of music, and of course all the old classics from the 60s: Pink Floyd, Beatles, Led Zeppelin, The Doors. Later I would get into the Grateful Dead. Okay, this is not at all what I'd expected. So what is wrong here? Maybe I need to ask somebody. Oops, okay. That is because I'm on the wrong street. It's like a very short block over to the right here. Let's see if we can get through. All right, this is looking more like it. It is called Graffiti Alley, and I am kind of a graffiti fan, at least. Okay, I should clarify that. Not a random graffiti, crappy graffiti, especially on historical buildings. I think that is terrible, but I like good street art. And here, obviously, it is kind of designated as, you know, paint away. So, let's see what they got so far. Not so exciting. And so later in the 90s, then I got into a lot more of the experimental, alternative 90s stuff. I was pretty big into grunge, so a friend passed on Pearl Jam's first album, 10, and it just absolutely blew me away. I had a job in Eugene, Oregon, delivering bread. Which started very early in the morning at 5 or 6 a.m. And so I would get to the warehouse, nobody else there, but the bread was all baked and ready to go. And then I would pack up the van and take off and drive around Eugene, delivering the bread to various stores, especially health food stores. And every morning for pretty much months, then I listened to Pearl Jam 10. That was my packing up the van album, because it took like 30-40 minutes or something. And then Soundgarden, Alice in Chains, Smashing Pumpkins. So if I had to pick my top 3 favorite albums, that is a tough one to narrow it down. But for me, it is Smashing Pumpkins' Siamese Dream. Absolutely unreal album. Just perfect from start to finish. No weak songs. And just absolutely mind-blowing music. And then second would be My Bloody Valentine, Loveless, which is a very, very experimental album that makes use of backwards guitar, very layered guitar. I love the shoegazing genre, also called like dream pop. Layered guitars, very ambient, kind of like droning, but then various different sounds going on. And then the third album would be by Curve. Curve is the band. Pubic Fruit, another 90s alternative rock band from London. That album is also very, very mind-blowing. Also their album Cuckoo. Curve is basically my favorite band, and they have tons of incredible stuff. We have Gabriel. The other dog. And then there are tons of other bands in the same genre, the dream pop. Lush, Slowdive, Ride, Stereolab. The Cocteau Twins. All right, pretty colorful, certainly not the most mind-blowing art, but I love all the psychedelic colors. But then I'm also into more acoustic stuff. So if I was stuck on a deserted island and could pick only one artist to have all of their music there, it very well might be Bob Dylan. Massive Bob Dylan fan. I grew up on it. My parents had a number of their albums when I was a kid. Desire is an incredible album. Blood on the Tracks. All of his 60s stuff until basically his motorcycle accident in, I think, 1966. And I guess that really affected him. And his next album after that wasn't one of his better ones. John Wesley Harding. But then he came out with Blonde on Blonde, which is really good and quite different. Of course, like Highway 61 Revisited. All right, this is pretty cool. Okay, here we got Black and White. And then I also grew up with Kate Wolf, a local folk musician in Northern California. Not very popular, but really nice stuff. And then speaking of Kate Bush, Irish singer, more alternative, experimental stuff. Van Morrison. I like so many different types of music that it can be hard to think of a lot of them off the top of my head. But I definitely like, a lot of the more alternative type stuff, but I'm pretty picky about it. So a band that I just discovered, I'd heard one of their songs some time ago, but Sneaker Pimps. They're firmly in that like British alternative 90s style. Check out their album Becoming X. Really ultimate. All right, well, this has definitely lived up to the name, Graffiti Alley. That's looks like probably finish up, yeah, right here. I think this is the way to do it with graffiti, is just designate one area and say, go for it, have fun, paint away, and then try really hard as a city to limit it in other places, including, fines if necessary, whatever, because it is really ruining a lot of cities in Europe, especially, where they will just ruin these old historical buildings with horrible, crappy graffiti, and it is an absolute pestilence on many of the cities. Athens is really bad. All right, so Where are we now? Let's see. Queen Street. And not looking super interesting down here. Lots of kind of cool shops. There's another part of town that I wanted to see. Okay, I just wanted to get over and show a couple of the shops over there if I can make it happen here. No traffic coming that way. Let's run for it or walk briskly. So tomorrow is my last day in Toronto, catching a flight, as I mentioned, tomorrow evening to Dublin, Ireland, and then I have another flight booked from there. And we'll keep it a surprise where I'm going next, but I am super looking forward to it. I think it's going to be really interesting, even though I'm going back to Europe, but this will be a country that you haven't seen a whole lot of. Fun Guy's Magic Mushroom Store. Toronto is definitely a hip city. Has a lot of interesting neighborhoods and a lot going on. Like so many different events and cool, unique type shops. So I think that is going to do it for this video. This might be the last one from Toronto. So coming next, awesome adventures in Europe. See ya.